Devious, feathered, and overlived dinosaurs that somehow managed to avoid the asteroids just to poop on our cars, steal our food, and sometimes sing better than I can. Birds. Or are they something a little bit more devious? Perhaps there is no such thing as birds, but spies telling Uncle Tom our every move. Who really knows? I'm just kidding. Birds are cool, and there are a ton that I can guarantee you never heard of. There are as many types of birds as ants in a colony. Probably. Let's check out some weird ones. Sagittarius serpentarius, the archer of snakes. If that's not a cool title, then I don't know what is. They are also classified as a species that can don the name of raptor. It's better than its common English name counterpart, the secretary bird. These archers stand at about 4 feet tall and roam the savanna and grasslands of sub-Saharan Africa. The secretary is typically covered in whitish gray feathers and its long black-tipped tail feathers, but its claim to fame is the dramatic black feather crest on the back of its head. That and the curb-stomping snakes thing, which we will get into later. The secretary bird will mainly be found on the ground, either roaming, looking for prey, or chilling with its friends. They can fly, they just prefer not to, only flying when it's absolutely necessary, such as reaching their nest high in a tree, or for courtship displays. Speaking of mating displays, they do it on the ground as well as the air. They perform what is called a pendulum flight, similar to other raptors, where they swoop down, then up, and repeat. Sometimes they even dive at each other. Their way of flirting, I guess. Once they finally seal the deal, they will build a nest together, usually in an acacia tree, and will use that same nest for years, renovating it season after season, just like the newlyweds they are. Now moving on to the fun part, their hunting habits. The secretary bird is one of the 2 birds of prey that hunt on the ground. They are 100% carnivores, with their diets consisting of small rodents, amphibians, reptiles, and of course, snakes. When hunting, they work with a partner or in small groups, and they hunt usually after dawn and through the evening, resting during times of peak heat. They do have a few weapons in their arsenal, like their hooked beaks, and more commonly known, their large feet and claws to stomp their meals to death. As their name suggests, snakes is their favorite meal. These birds have mastered the art of snake hunting. They use their 7-foot wingspan as a distraction. If the snake tries to attack their body, they end up with a mouthful of feathers, and if they go for the legs, they have scales that protect the lower parts from bites, practically evolved to be the perfect hunter. Moving on to another larger bird. It's a bit smaller than the previous one and has a resting bird face, the Malaysian large frogmouth. This moody mouthful lives around Southeast Asia and other subtropical lowland forests. The frogmouth colors can vary. The other parts are mainly a chestnut blackish brown color with spots of white, while their lower parts are dull brown. Their bellies are a paler color. Not that much is known about this bird, which might be a good thing, as they are now classified as near threatened by the International Union for Conservation of Nature. What we do know is that it hunts by night near the ground of forest floors and in the canopy. Its diet is made up of insects like grasshoppers and cicadas. During the day, it can be found roosting on the branches of trees. Again, not much is known about them, but it might be for the best to leave them to their natural habitats. What comes to mind when thinking of pigeons? Rats with wings, maybe bullies of nature, ruiner of crops, etc., etc. Let me be the first to tell you, pigeons can be beautiful, and the Victoria crowned pigeon is living proof. There are over 300 species of pigeons, each having their own unique characteristics and personalities, and some are prettier than others. These blue delights were named after Queen Victoria, but you won't find any of them flying over Big Ben or sitting atop of Nando's. At least, not naturally. The Victoria crowned pigeon calls New Guinea and its surrounding islands home. They favor the lowlands and the swamplands to call their own. The colorful look of the Victoria pigeon has made it very popular. For over 100 years, the bird has been bred in captivity and paraded throughout the world to be shown off. They can be found in a multitude of different zoos and aviaries throughout the world, mainly in the United States and the United Kingdom. With the hunting of these pigeons and the deforestation of their home, they have had their time on the endangered species list. They have been up and down the list a couple of times, holding different titles from near extinct to now near threatened. Though, I do believe they'll make a comeback. I believe in them and our conservation efforts. How about a bird that will haunt your dreams tonight? Standing with an average height of 2.5 feet, with slate black feathers, a white underbelly, and a 6.5-foot wingspan, the harpy eagle are the strongest eagles on Earth and among the deadliest raptors. Weighing in at 10 pounds, they can fly away with prey weighing up to 17 pounds. Their legs are as thick as the size of a human arm, and at the end of that, they have a 4 to 5 inch razor-sharp claws that they use to help them. And their prey consists of animals such as small rodents, possums, armadillos, and even monkeys. With the size and sheer presence, it is no surprise that they require a lot of space. Harpy eagles can be seen from Mexico to the edges of the South American lowland jungles, with the other heavy hitters. They make nests that are over 6 feet long and 1 feet deep, and their territories are usually 10,000 acres. Lastly, is their popularity among the countries in Central and South America. It is the national bird of Panama. It's the Ecuadorian symbol of biodiversity, as well as being a prominent icon on Venezuela's currency. If my region had harpy birds, I'd rep it too. It's mean, powerful, and majestic. Staying in South America, the sword-billed hummingbird. This fascinating specimen is predominantly identified by the bill that is as long, sometimes even longer than its body. Its famed bill is long but thin. The hummingbird does use its whacker of sorts to get nectar and for defense. They are a pretty cool example of tailored evolution, as their favorite flower nectar is hard to access for birds, bees, and other nectar lovers. This gives them a monopoly on all tubular flowers. Nectar isn't all they eat, it's just their favorite. The birds do sometimes hunt tiny insects, usually during mating season. They need the extra protein for energy and to take care of their young. Feeding isn't the only thing their bill is used for. Male swordbills are solitary and vastly territorial little buggers. They will find a large amount of land relative to their size, with plentiful blooming flowers, and claim it as their territory. They are aggressive when it comes to defending their land, and they not only fight off other swordbill hummingbirds, but other birds in general, and they do use their long bills as swords. Even if you visit South America, you won't spot these fencers out and about or in a city. They only reside in high altitudes, from the Andes Mountains to the wet Greenlands of South America. A hike is probably required to see them, but it would be worth it to see their sword fights live. There are so many different types of birds. There are dozens among dozens that could have been in this video. And who knows, if y'all like this one, there might be a sequel. But that will wrap it up for this entry. If you enjoyed the video, leave a comment, and why not subscribe for more. Thanks again, until the next entry of Nature's Journal. And if you want to learn more about the planet we live on, click on that next video.